His ex messaged me, "Help. So I've been with my boyfriend for over 10 months since November 2020 now, and so far everything has been good. He hasn't done anything for me to want to leave other than say stupid little white lies here and there, which I will explain further. I admit I have my insecurities when it comes to trust." So recently, about 2 weeks ago, his ex-girlfriend from more than 4 years ago messaged me saying that she was warning me that I was dating a rapist, an abuser and verbal abuser. The fact that she found my account kinda has me weirded out because I have never seen her nor knew about her. So she was basically stalking my BFS and my account on Instagram. She did her accusations and labeled it trying to protect me. When I asked her for proof, she responded with, "I have nothing to prove to you. I am just doing my job by warning you." She also sent me a single screenshot of my boyfriend trying to email her 2019 last email October 2020. Which literally proved nothing, and I wasn't even with him when he emailed her. His excuse for emailing her was that he never wanted to get back to her, he just wanted to see his cat that he shared with her and she kept. My boyfriend is a cat lover, by the way. Backstory of her. She is clinically bipolar and had a very abusive, toxic relationship with my BF. According to my boyfriend, she was abusive and always threatened him that she will off herself. She once pulled a knife on him. She hacked into his social media and started insulting his friends pretending to be him, always caused a scene, and was an abusive alcoholic. Now this is where the trust issues come in, because for months I kept reminding my boyfriend to delete anything related to his ex or ex stuff in general, and I asked him if he ever contacted his ex before me, and he lied about it. He in fact contacted her before he met me due to the cat, which was before me. His excuse was he forgot he emailed her because he met me. I also found on his phone internet bookmark files that his ex saved Lane his laptop about school stuff, paperwork, pages, shopping sites, etc. So this entire time he claimed he had no idea those files were saved in his Safari because before they both shared a laptop when they were together. He ended deleting all bookmarked files but swears that he had no idea her saved files transferred to his phone, because they shared a laptop before. I am so confused and IDK how to feel. I feel completely turned off about this situation. He doesn't want to lose me, and he even got his sister and good friend to talk to me. Apparently his sister hates his ex because she knows how problematic she was. You do realize this just sounds like she wants to break you guys up, right? If she can't provide proof of her claims, then it's quite obvious that she's bullshitting you. People go to jail because false rape accusations like hers. She can't be toxic to him anymore, so she's going to try and be toxic through you. Be careful. People like her can be quite dangerous if they don't get what they want. I'm gonna be straight with you. Your insecurities definitely show. You are allowed your boundaries. But honestly, goddamn, that stuff you seem bothered by seem extremely forgettable. Almost a non-issue. I don't doubt they're getting blown up cause of your insecurities. As for the ex, it seems you have a he said she said thing going on. If you haven't gotten an issue in the last 10 months, then really it may seem she's blowing smoke. I wouldn't worry too much, but remember it. Crazy ex alert. I have nothing to prove to you, I'm just doing my job. Is the smoking gun here. She has no proof, no evidence, no nothing to offer to back up her claims. By contrast, you have the word of both your boyfriend and his sister that the ex is out to lunch. This is an intentional mind FCK, and letting it happen. Thereby ensuring that she'll keep making wild accusations until you take charge and refuse to let a stranger ruin your relationship and consume your thoughts. So a stranger finds you God knows how, tells you your boyfriend is abusive, shows no proof and avoids to expand. And you're considering believing her because he lied, because he may as well have forgotten since it was about a cat, and because he forgot to delete some old bookmarks his ex had, because who would forget to delete something as important as school bookmarks when breaking up? Damn dude, get a grip. You know your BF. You know if he's been abusive to you. You don't need someone else's opinion, a schizo's opinion at that. It could be that they both were toxic, abusive and manipulative. But she does not have proof, so sounds like she is trying to cause trouble between you two. Well, the ex could be telling you the truth. Can you think of any other reason she could have in contacting you? Does she want him back, for instance? Could you have been ignoring red flags regarding your boyfriend? I understand you're confused, I'd be too. Try to really think it through and analyze the situation. Also, just because she's bipolar doesn't mean she's a violent liar. Your boyfriend could be the one lying. It's common for abusers to claim that their victim is the violent one. Damn, this must be difficult for you. Edit. There is a third alternative, that they were both abusive towards each other. So my question is this. Has he ever done any of the things that she has said that he has done? If the answer is no, then I wouldn't even think twice about what she said. Your issue with him lying is not something he was accused of by her, and is something that you have to gauge on your own. Is it feasible that he is telling the truth? Only you can answer that. Don't let his ex influence you on this topic, as it carries no weight. I will say that I have found things on my phone that I know I deleted. Hell, Google overwrites things on my iPhone all the time. The key on this is going to be communicating with him on how you feel about it all. There's a certain way my 26 female boyfriend, 25 male, acts, and I don't know how to explain it. Edit. Ex-boyfriend. He's only like that with me, with others he's the sweetest and most caring person. Anyway, last night him and I were just calling and chatting about our days in the phone while we are doing chores. Then one second he says to me, "I know why men cheat." And sent me a Instagram profile of hot babes. Some look like jailbait. And he said that looks are a reason men cheat, and emphasized, if you're that beautiful, you'll get anything in life. And kept saying that any man would cheat for these women. So I said, so you're telling me that these girls are prettier. And so you're telling me you'd cheat on me if one of them was in your life. First he was like avoiding that statement and talking over me. Then he said, oh, so you're taking it personal, with an attitude, and still refused to say sorry. I dumped him on the phone calmly and said, I'm sorry, but I don't want to live in fear that you'll cheat, and I'm already extremely insecure, so this hurts. To which he started yelling at me about how I always flirt with other guys, which is off topic, and false. Then I said, okay, I'm gonna ask my friend this. Imagine just casually sitting with your boyfriend in the phone and he tells you randomly, I know why men cheat, and sends you a profile page of hot babes and goes on about how pretty girls like that could make any man cheat. He said I better not talk shit in his name, and he also added, yeah, of course she won't be okay with it, but who the fuck cares, that's her, not you. Like, do you see how insensitive and dismissive he is? I told him, I'm not okay with it and I'm sure no other woman would be. And he kept attacking me for taking it personally and didn't even apologize. He's awfully horrible at apologies, very stubborn. Then he kept attacking me for how friendly I am with guys, which again is off topic and a lie. Too long, did not read. Imagine your man randomly telling you, I know why men cheat. And him linking you an Instagram page of hot baddies and goes on about how pretty they are and how even the strongest-willed man would cheat for them. Except him, my BF, face with rolling eyes. So what was the point of showing your girlfriend that then? Is he a sociopath? I don't know what he is. I ain't no doctor. What I do know is, run. He's not a sociopath, or a narcissist. He's just a massive asshole. And that's more than enough to dump his ass. You don't need to slap a label on it for it to be unacceptable, cruel behavior, which it is. There is something wrong with your ex. He should stay an ex in your life. You 100% made the right call. He is dismissive of your feelings, insensitive in general given everyone has their insecurities, and he made it a point to pick out some super hot chicks and say, I'd totally cheat with one of them. Also, that comment, well that's her, not you, that implies what exactly? That he expects you to deal with it? To lower your standards for him? Yeah, that's FD up. He is gaslighting you. Typical narcissistic behavior. You did the right thing. He is waving red flags right in your face. Emotional abuse to control you. Covertly beat your self-worth down so your insecurities make you be with him forever. Girl, please, this is not a man, it's an immature p-boy who's not willing to commit. You deserve way better than this asshole. I don't know what he is. I do know that you broke up with him, and that's amazing. You should also labeled him as ex-boyfriend on your title. But pedantic aside, really amazing you broke up with him. It shows that you value yourself much more than he does. And no, pretty girls don't make guys cheat. They cheat because they cheat. They only have themselves to blame. Is this strategic incompetence? I, 27 female. I'm engaged to my, 28 male, fiancé after dating and living together for 4 years. When we met I lived at home with my parents and he lived with his then boss's family. I always cooked, did my chores, planned meals. The only thing I didn't do at home was take out trash. A few months into us dating I found my own place and I started learning I had to do more around the house to keep it up. Like things don't restock theirself. And he would come over and loved my cooking. That I always had a clean apartment that smelled nice and I liked that he liked that about me. And he would come over and help me with trash. Now years later, I can't get him to cook a dish or put the dishes away or go shopping, or figure out what's for dinner. We both work from home, so now I try to do laundry during meetings and make lunch for us. It was my day off last week and he woke me up from my nap to ask what time was I getting up to make lunch. Like, can you not take 2 pieces of bread and figure out what goes in between? I can't have him go to the store because he gets it wrong or calls me 20x. I asked him to get 2 Roma tomatoes, he comes back with a can. I fear he may actually be incompetent. I left for a week for work and we went to the store together to get him food. I walked him through how to plan his week of meals, how to decide what he needs, and even walked through the aisles to help him find things. Showed him that he could use the map in the grocery store app and did not need to call me. After a long day of work in another city, I had to talk him through our local grocery, and when I returned I learned he didn't cook at all. He ate out every day, every meal. He said he cooked one day but it didn't taste like mine, so he gave up. I know he's smart. But it's like he can't pick up normal tasks. I thought he would just get it by now or figure it out when push came to shove, but anytime I bring it up he says he doesn't know how, and he does do chores like the trash. Is it all in my head? Or is he just not cut out for this type of housework? Of course it's strategic. Even children know how to make a sandwich. Are you okay with being his maid, mother for the rest of your life? If not, I'd suggest you start making some big changes. How Not to Have to Dry the Dishes by Shel Silverstein. If you have to dry the dishes, such an awful, boring chore. If you have to dry the dishes, instead of going to the store. If you have to dry the dishes and you drop one on the floor, maybe they won't let you dry the dishes anymore. In other words, whether it's deliberate or subconscious, he has no motivation to learn so long as he has mommy with benefits to do his work. You have to figure out how you're going to cut him off. He woke you up to ask what's for lunch. Are you serious? Every single woman I know that married this guy ended up getting divorced because they grew to hate them. And none of them ever woke up their wife about lunch. Listen, if you want to be a bangmaid, with a life of servitude, knock your socks off. If you want an adult, you need to leave, because no amount of communication or teaching will change him. He likes you doing everything, his life is awesome. You do understand that if he loved you he wouldn't be like this. He loves what you do for him, he uses you. Unless he has a severe developmental disability, it is 100% intentional. He just doesn't want to do these things, and he doesn't want to learn how to do them. You need to sit down with him and have a serious conversation about your expectations. If he refuses to learn and pull his own weight, there have to be consequences from your side or he will never change. Yeah, this is deliberate. When I was a kid, one of my uncles was like this. It was very convincing. If he had to cook, it was always grilled cheese or steak with no veggies. Then after his second wife left him in his 50s and he was alone, boom, suddenly he learns to cook properly. He's now quite a good cook, too. OMG, I just watched a vid on a husband doing learner incompetence with his wife. My advice is to tell him, because if you do everything in the end, then you are giving him what he wants. Putting dishes away is bare minimum. If he's like that as your fiancé and not willing to change, then that's a bit scary. My quote for you is, mediocrity is a privilege. This sounds like a setup for a life of resentment and the embodiment of having, dad, as another kid to take care of. I'd be seriously reconsidering my choice in partner, because this doesn't sound like a partner. This sounds like a lifelong dependent unless you cut it off now. Honestly, he sounds like a child. I already have 2 children. I wouldn't want another to take care of. Dump him and move on, or tell him to move out so he can learn to take care of himself. When he moves out though, don't let him come, hang out, every day. This guy seriously needs to grow up. No one is that helpless. No one. Boyfriend, 30, male, wants his cousin to live with us, but I, 31, female, don't. Hi everyone. I, 31, female, and my boyfriend, 30, male, have dreamt of moving across the country for a couple of years now. We probably would have done it last year, but then the pandemic occurred. In October of last year, my boyfriend's cousin, 24, male, and his girlfriend, 26, female, migrated to the US from Latin America. They live in our city now and spend a lot of time with us. My boyfriend shared our plan to move out of state and his cousin asked if he could come along with us. My boyfriend said yes, and now the plans have changed to include his cousin and the girlfriend. Now, as we are approaching the month we will leave, it's become clear to me that my boyfriend expects us to help his cousin and the girlfriend by having them live with us. I have continuously opposed the idea because I want my own space. Right now, we live with my father, and one of the main points of leaving is so that we finally have our own home, our own space. Tonight, I was very firm and direct with my boyfriend about this issue. I told him I'm willing to compromise with living with them for a few months at most, but then I would like for them to move out into their own space. I added that if he had different plans, he should tell me now so that he does not waste my time, nor I his. Well, my boyfriend got upset. He said he does not have the heart to do that to his cousin. He added that I was out of line for wanting things my way. At that point, we ended the conversation because it was going nowhere. Now, I usually have a hard time setting boundaries, but I'm working hard towards being more assertive and clear with my needs. I think that is what I did tonight, yet he is treating me like I'm this cold, heartless person who came at him aggressive tonight. How can I honor my needs while also maintaining my relationship with my boyfriend who is adamant that he will help his cousin by having them live with us? Stand your ground. If he wants to live with his cousin and cousin's girlfriend, let him move on with them. I don't think he consulted you when he said yes they can move also. All I see is a disaster waiting to happen. What if they don't get jobs? Have drug or alcohol problems? The list goes on and on. Lack of privacy. Does boyfriend expect you to help support them? What if they won't move out? OMG, I would think about your own future. This could end very badly. I would consider dumping him. Let him live with his cousin. Good luck. You must stand your ground. Very big deal living with people you don't know. Big no. For me. Live with you as I'm pays half the rent on time and half of all the utilities, or live with you rent and utility free? If they ain't paying, then they ain't staying. That's easy. That said, forcing two people to be allowed to live with you is clearly something you should assert on or you don't want. Especially if they're in the living room or common areas, as you can't afford a proper multi-bedroom living space. I am worried he wants to do this whether you want to or not. He will also team up with them against you. Do not move with your boyfriend. He wants to live with his cousin. He said he does not have the heart to do that to his cousin. He's clearly already had a conversation with the cousin that is about living together with no time limit and doesn't want to look bad. Since you're living with your dad, this might be a good time to end this relationship if you do not like the direction your relationship is taking. Sounds like your boyfriend wants to live with his cousin for an indeterminate amount of time, which is not what you want. Make your wants, needs, and expectations crystal clear, and if your boyfriend wants something else, you might be better off getting out now before you have another obligation like a lease that you're stuck with for a year or more. Is he expecting them to live there forever? What's your BF's timeline with this? You saying a few months is completely reasonable. If he doesn't let up, you might have to get your own place. If you move into this and they never leave, the feeling of resentment will build very fast. Putting them in front of you already. Recipe for disaster. Let them go without you.